All right, everybody. So, welcome back to State of the Table. It has been a long time since we've done a State of the Table update. This is my video series that is the rough and ready, quick look at the table, getting an update, seeing where we are at, just kind of getting an update where I'm at with hobby, with Warhammer, with other things that I might be working on. It's pretty much always been Warhammer to this date. So eventually I may get some other stuff in there, but still not yet. Still mostly Warhammer, and so. Big stuff been happening. We had the end of 9th edition since last time I did one of these. We also had the beginning of 10th edition and all the good and bad that's been going with that. And so I've had also a lot of changes on the table. And so we're gonna get with that. I've also been struggling a little bit with some upper respiratory stuff lately. That's caused me to slow down a bit on videos. What with wildfires up north and stuff like that. I'm on the east side of the US. The air quality's been horrible and it's really been hurting me. In fact, I had to cancel a game session today because I just didn't get any sleep last night from my respiratory issues. So hopefully that'll clear up soon. Got some other good health stuff going on, so I'm very happy with that. So, but let me not waste too much time rambling on about that sort of thing. Let's talk about the table and a little bit more about 40K 10th edition. So what we're looking at here is the state of the table, and it is in a state. It's a big old mess of things that I'm looking at and working on. Mostly at the moment is some Space Marine options that you can see there. One big change is I actually moved all of my computer stuff over to the hobby table so that I can actually use it a little bit easier. And that also gave me my computer cart that I built, which was a cart on wheels. My computer stuff, all that was on wheels, actually became my airbrush station. So that's been actually a really good change for me being able to airbrush more things when I want. So that is a good thing. Also, I went ahead and after more tournament experience, especially after doing Rocky Top, seeing some more smaller events and talking with people and going through 10th edition, I came to the conclusion that me having 3 Space Marine chapters that were dedicated with all the generic options, it was just more and more of a drain on my time. It wasn't worth having all of those separate things. So what I decided to do was to combine all of my generic options and redo a custom paint scheme for that. And I've always liked metal paint schemes on Space Marines, so I have the first models as an example of what I'm gonna do. And I did the test. The test model is basically this Primaris Lieutenant. Sorry for the bouncy camera work there. But Primaris Lieutenant from Dark Imperium. And this is actually, for the time, it was a really cool model. Nowadays, I would say it's a little bit more plain compared to some of the other stuff that's come out since Indominus and other kits. But I like it. It's a good model, and I'm wanting to use it. And you can see my basic scheme here. It's a combination of some other metal-based successor chapters, very close to the famous miniature dude, Darren Latham, his Silver Skulls scheme. And there was another painter online that had a couple of features that was very similar to that I also copied. I think the primary part that I copied was the black elements on the top of the backpack. Really thought that was a good idea. And then I decided that I would break up the company colors. I'm going to go with the red weapons, and then I would break up the company colors as you see here. So we have chapter markings are in black when I decide on an actual chapter symbol. I haven't 100% decided. And then I've got the black elements there, and then it also shows up on the left knee, and then on the right knee, the right pauldron, and for a Primaris especially, the convex section of the backpack on the back, those will carry the company colors. And so I'm gonna go with, because I was running Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Ultramarines as my main 3, we're gonna start off with those colors. So first company will be the Dark Angels green. It's a very nice, rich green. Hunter green in the US is a common way to call it. Then I have a second company is Ultramarines. So that is the Ultramarine blue. And they're not literally Ultramarines, right? It's just the blue tones, and that'll have some of that. And then third company is gonna start off with the Blood Angels and like more of a Mephiston red. Now that matches the weapons, so that'll kind of tie in. And then of course I'm using gold for Aquilas and golden accents and stuff like that. And then everything else is kind of standard. So And you can see here I am working on some Relic Terminators that I've had sitting on the back burner for a long time, and I wanted to get some Terminators up and going. I do have the Leviathan box. I do have the Leviathan Terminators. They are gorgeous. I have zero complaints about them so far. I haven't built the kit yet. You might see in the background I do have my Ballistus built. I'm going to be working on a better video talking about the Ballistus Dreadnought, but these are the Relic Terminators started off in the new scheme. And so basically everything in my backlog that's not painted, that's not a chapter-specific kit, is going to get, or character, I should say, that's another good thing to mention, is going to be done in this metal-based scheme. So these are not near finished yet, but they are well on the way. They're basically to a standard where I could go take them to games with friends and it'd be just fine. And these are where they're at, and so they would be fine going into a game right now. I wanted to do a certain build on these Relic Terminators for a long time, so it's now it's all chain fists and a plasma blaster, grenade harness, plasma blaster on the sergeant, grenade harness, and Reaper autocannon for the heavy weapon guy. And we have that. And right now, I was wanting to test out a Blood Angels list, so I'm actually going to use the Space Hulk Captain that I had largely finished previously, and he's actually not finished technically, but he was gonna be a stand-in for my Terminator Captain. And so when I run Blood Angels and stuff like that, I'll have some Blood Angels specific characters and also units. Like I've got my Librarian Dread as a test option back there in the background. I've also got my Death Company that is a magnetized group that I was working on. This guy, his arm got a little bit deep set with a magnet, but it works perfectly well. They're really strong. Inferno Pistols magnetized as well. And so stuff like Death Company will remain chapter colors because there's no reason not to. Especially now 10th edition, here's like a Death Company Dread that I'm getting worked on. And so that will be stuff that will become stays chapter specific, while the rest of the options will go back to this new scheme, such as these Hellblasters that I originally had Blood Angels. I've got probably about 20 Hellblasters. I've got a whole 10-man kit that's not built yet, but this kit, this group of 5, which is something I want to try out, an MSU Hellblaster group, I'm going to go ahead and probably work on getting those guys matching up in the silver scheme back here. And so I might take the blood drop off of that tilting plate there on his arm, or may even remove the tilting plate entirely. But other than that, I'm going to leave him his details as they are and just do a repaint and make sure he's nice and clean and up to standard. And really that's it. That's kind of where I'm at. I've also worked, I've got my Calidus Assassin back here. I love this girl. This is my favorite assassin. I really like the rules. The model always gives me a little bit of anxiety, I guess would be an okay word for it, because it seems like it's so easy to break. But so far so good, fingers crossed, because GW made this special order these days. You can't just go and buy this in a store, which is silly, but buy all the others. But also my Necrons. I got to play my Necrons recently, and for Tenny, I'm super happy with those. So we will see how that goes, and really that's it. I will, closing thoughts, I will say right now, the table is a big mess, but as I've pointed out in the past, that is normal. Your table can get super messy, and then what? You just clean it back up. You clean it back up and you get your workspace going, but right now I'm in kind of one of those free flow mental states of, I got a lot of stuff I'm thinking about, stuff I'm considering. There's a bunch of stuff on the table I haven't even mentioned. That's stuff I'm working with, and so or I was considering or looking at for ideas, and that's just sometimes the way things go and how it happens. And then I go back and I clean it up and I get a more focused space going on, and that's good. But you know, this is okay for the moment, and I'll get it worked on. And finally, I would just say 10th edition. I'll probably do more thoughts on it at a different stage. Do a video about that, or multiple videos about that. But what I would say is that I'm fine with it. I don't think it's an improvement on 9th edition in any strong way at all. It seems like a side grade as far as things go. it is different. It's not better. It's not simpler, for sure. It's not necessarily more complicated either. So it's like where Games Workshop put out their statements about simple, not simplified, or simplified, not simple. I think it's more marketing and hype than it is actually true. I think they've made some serious mistakes. They've also made some serious potential improvements, and so those are kind of canceling each other out at the moment. The game is fine. I found the first game that I played enjoyable enough. I didn't have a bad time playing it. List building is something that I'm very unhappy with, especially for Space Marines that I've tried. I've tried many Space Marine lists now for multiple chapters, and that has not been enjoyable for me. Necrons was a snap. That was very easy, but I mean, yeah, I'll go into it more, I think, in other videos. I think some other content creators have done, much more famous ones than myself, have done an amazing job talking about the pros and cons right now. I especially would point out, not that he needs a shout out from me, but Liam Dempsey has just put out some of the most amazing content lately, as far as commentary goes. And then you know, Art of War, as always, just amazing content as far as quality gameplay, how-tos, and things like that. I'll give a special recognition as well to like Vanguard Tactics and Tabletop Tactics and Tabletop Titans, all doing really good work, still solid channels. And then of course there's a bunch of hobby channels. I could just go on and on about hobby channels, but as far as 10th edition specific commentary, those are all the ones I would care to name that I would be like, yeah, definitely give them a try and check them out if you're not already. And really, that is it, guys. I will do another one of these pretty soon, but I do have a family trip coming up, so I may be very like sporadic with videos. If the schedule is not consistent, please don't think that anything is wrong with the channel. There's nothing wrong with the channel. It's just life kind of making my ability to put out videos very hit and miss. So I will be keeping up and you know, off and on and doing things, but the schedule right now is like non-existent. There's not like a solid schedule. So just keep an eye on the space, hit that notification bell. If you like the content, please share and subscribe, and that is it. Bye for now.